Imagine a single man standing alone against an entire army, in temperatures so cold they freeze your bones. No armor, no reinforcements, no hope for backup. Just one rifle, one mind, and a deadly instinct that turns fear into a weapon. He killed hundreds, vanished like a ghost, and became a nightmare for an entire military force. This is the story of Simo Häyhä, the White Death. Stay with us until the end and discover how one man changed the course of history in the snow-covered forests of Finland. It was 1939, and Europe was teetering on the brink of chaos. While much of the world's attention would soon turn toward the devastating conflicts of World War II, the quiet forests of Finland became the stage for one of the most remarkable stories of individual bravery in history. The Soviet Union, seeking to expand its borders, launched an invasion against Finland. What they expected was a swift victory. With hundreds of thousands of troops, tanks, and aircraft, the Red Army believed that conquering this small nation would be nothing more than a minor skirmish. But they were unprepared for the horrors of the Finnish winter, and even more unprepared for the man they would soon fear above all others. Simo Häyhä was born in 1905 in the small village of Rautjärvi, Finland. From a young age, he was taught to survive in the harsh wilderness. Hunting wasn't just a pastime, it was a way of life. The snow, the forests, the bitter cold. These were not obstacles to Simo. They were his allies. He learned to move silently, to watch and wait, to anticipate the behavior of animals, and later, of men. When Finland called upon its citizens to defend their homeland, Simo answered. But unlike most soldiers, he carried no ambition for fame or medals. His only goal was to protect his country, using the skills he had honed over decades of living in harmony with the land. The Winter War began in late November of 1939. Temperatures plunged to -40 degrees Celsius. The snow-covered forests were deceptive. Footprints were quickly buried, sounds were muffled, and the wind often carried the faintest noise far beyond its source. For the Soviet soldiers, this terrain was a nightmare. Their tanks bogged down, troops froze, and the landscape itself seemed hostile. But for Simo, this was familiar territory, the stage upon which he would become a legend. Armed with a simple Mosin Nagant rifle, without a telescopic sight, Simo relied solely on his keen eyesight, patience, and unparalleled marksmanship. He would lie in the snow for hours, sometimes an entire day, waiting for the perfect shot. Before firing, he'd pack snow in front of his rifle to prevent the muzzle blast from kicking up a telltale puff of white. He'd even put snow in his mouth to stop his breath from forming a visible cloud in the frigid air. His clothing was white, blending seamlessly with the snow, and he learned to use the natural features of the terrain to mask his presence. To the advancing Soviet soldiers, it seemed as if the snow itself had turned against them. In less than 100 days, Simo Häyhä would eliminate over 500 enemy soldiers. Each shot was precise, calculated, and merciless. The Soviets searched for him tirelessly, deploying their own snipers, artillery, and reconnaissance teams, yet he remained elusive. Each time they attempted to locate him, more of their soldiers fell. Panic spread through the Red Army ranks. Men whispered his name with fear. The White Death was coming, and he was everywhere and nowhere at once. What made Simo truly extraordinary was not just his skill, but his discipline and mental fortitude. While others might have become exhausted or anxious, he remained calm under pressure. The bitter cold, the endless days, the constant threat of enemy fire, none of it deterred him. Each morning, he would position himself with the patience of a predator, observing the terrain, waiting for a soldier to expose himself. And when the opportunity arose, he struck and vanished again into the whiteness. The psychological impact on the enemy cannot be overstated. They weren't just fighting a man, they were fighting a ghost, an unseen force that struck without warning. The Soviets tried everything. They sent elite snipers specifically to hunt him, deployed artillery barrages on his suspected positions, and even used aerial reconnaissance to locate him. But Simo Häyhä had become more than a soldier. He had become a symbol of Finnish resistance, an embodiment of the harsh winter itself. And yet, despite the chaos he created for the Red Army, he remained a humble man. He never gloated, never sought attention. His motivation wasn't fame or recognition. It was a deep, unwavering dedication to his country and his fellow Finns. But even legends can be wounded. In March 1940, during one of the many firefights along the Kola River, Simo was struck in the face by an explosive bullet. His jaw and cheek were severely injured, and the Soviets assumed he had finally been killed. Yet, Simo survived. Found unconscious and gravely wounded by his comrades, he only awakened days later as the war was reaching its conclusion. The man who had struck fear into an entire army, who had seemed invincible, had endured. And in surviving, he became even more legendary. Simo Häyhä's life after the war was marked by humility and simplicity. He returned to his farm, hunting and fishing, living quietly until the age of 96. He never boasted about his more than 500 confirmed kills, nor did he seek recognition for his incredible deeds. Yet, his legacy endured. Military historians and snipers around the world studied his tactics, his methods, and his unbelievable ability to remain undetected. He became a symbol of precision, patience, and the power of a single individual to influence events in a world dominated by massive armies. The story of Simo Häyhä is more than just statistics or battle reports. It's a story of discipline, courage, and mastery of one's environment. It's a powerful reminder that heroism often exists in quiet places, far from the spotlight of glory. In the forests of Kola, each whisper of the wind, each crackle of frost, carries the memory of a man who fought against overwhelming odds, who turned fear into a weapon, and who proved that determination and skill could make a single person a force of legend. Even today, when the wind sweeps across the forests of Finland, some say you can still hear the faint echo of a rifle shot, a ghostly reminder of the White Death. His story teaches us that true power is not always in numbers, not in the machinery of war, but in the skill, patience, and resolve of a single individual who refuses to yield. Simo Häyhä, the White Death, stands as a testament to the extraordinary potential of humanity, to the courage of one man in the face of insurmountable odds, and to the enduring legend that continues to inspire. His life reminds us that history is often shaped not by the masses, but by those who act with courage, precision, and unwavering conviction, even in the coldest and most dangerous of circumstances. Thank you for watching. If you were as inspired by this story as we are, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history. We'll see you in the next one.